Is this you?
Was poppin'. Welcome, Nicky and Moose. I'm Nicky. That's Moose. What's up, Moose?
What up, y'all?
Oh, you did. What happened to your mic?
Am I delayed?
Very.
Okay, hold on. Try now. Hang on.
Hey,
I'm
people.
coming.
Little technical issues as we do.
That's
You know what I
what
mean? Technical issues as we do. Hold on. Are we good?
I think I should be better now. See if that's working.
You still sound like you're not coming from your mic, though.
Okay, hold on. Okay, run it. I'm like straight.
I got you. So, first and foremost, shout out to everybody who's watching this live. Of course, shout out to the people who are watching this replay. Episode 126 dropped today, where we had one of our creators of the week from the past, Glenn Henry, actually in the building. Okay, so that was a whole vibe. Do me a favor, real quick, fast in a hurry. Like, because the algorithm will rock with us better if you like the video. Share if you truly rock with us. And then, of course, if you truly support the channel, whether you're watching this on YouTube or watching this on Facebook, YouTube, hit the super chat or the super thanks when we add value to you. And then, of course, Facebook, hit the stars and take a screenshot that you're watching this so other people are in the building. You know what I mean? But if you're watching this live, of course, drop where you're watching this from so we can show some love to you guys. I think this is going to be a whole vibe. Not missing this. Been in a slump lately. I see you. So let's check on Moose, see how he is. Moose, we back? We good?
You check? Are we good?
Okay. All
Are we
right.
good?
Okay. I'm here for it.
A little better.
A little better.
Are we-
I'm with a little better.
How about now? Like, are
Okay.
we all
That's better.
good?
We like that.
Okay,
We
here
like
we go.
that.
Though.
We
Here
like
we go.
that. We like that. How are you, Moose?
Gotcha. Man, I'm pretty good, y'all. I'm pretty good. I had some technical difficulties coming in. We've been doing a lot of cleaning lately, and that means cleaning everything. And so my roadcaster literally wasn't turning on. I'm here like, yo, what's up, player? I gotta be live in seconds right now.
In seconds.
So, like literally. So it ran a little late, but no, honestly, I'm feeling really good. There's been a lot of work that we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, traveled a ton this past week. I think I told you I went to Vegas,
Yep.
came back the same day technically, but because of the time change and how long the flight was, it's like I came back the next day, which
Right.
I actually did come back the next day,
Right.
and then you mix that in with the certification training in Michigan. So shout out to everyone who attended there. So that was a lot of fun, but a lot going on, but overall, really, really good stuff nonetheless, man. Super excited to be here and rock this thing out.
I like it. Shout out to you.
How you
and
feeling?
The travel.
Yeah.
Well, I had a lot of travel myself. 2 times in Atlanta in 1 week. You feel me? But it was cool because the last trip, I got an award and was not expecting that. I was just
I
there.
seen that on your story.
Right. I went to an all-black event, and Connie S. Falls, a guest of ours from the past episodes, was getting an award, and I won, as a friend to support. And they started talking about this one was out of the blue, but God put it in my heart to award this person. She gives so much information about social media and is just there to serve people. I was like, that doesn't sound like Connie. But I was like, ready.
Since when Connie started doing the social media stuff?
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep playing with this camera, because she gave me this camera to like record, and then they said my name, and I was like, wait, huh? I looked so confused. They were like, speech. I was like, I have no clue what to say, because I was not expecting. I said something. I don't remember. I came out of. I don't even know what I said. I don't even know what I said, but I said something, and it was dope. But it was a surprise, and now I have an award, which is cool.
That's
like
what's up.
I like those events that just give flowers to people of our culture, because not just relying on the big name people to give us awards. So that was really dope. I appreciate it. Shout out to Ty. She did the whole event. It was beautiful. So yeah.
Wow, that's fire. Happened. That's fire. Yeah. And Deeper Than the Brand merch looking kind of crazy though. You gonna talk about that real quick?
It is. I mean,
what is this right here?
I'm just saying.
Wow.
This is my bait of bringing Moose in. I just wear random stuff now.
I'm looking like I've never seen a hoodie like that. Why do hoodies not come like that anymore?
Right.
What's happening?
Right. Hockey style. You know what I mean? Hockey style.
That's fire. That's fire.
So we dropped merch on the 3rd for the community only. So as most of y'all know, we're big on serving the community. If you're part of Deeper Than the Brand, there's some perks. And so every 3rd of the month, we're going to drop some merch just for the community. And so the next one is Friday, and that's not going to be out for the public. It's only going to be, it's only going to be for the community. And so this was one of the limited edition. It's embroidered. It's a vibe. It kind of have like that hockey style. People's been seeing me in the joggers, and so it's one of those things.
No, it looks good. I'm not gonna lie, that's fire. It looks good. Yeah, we're trying to do some stuff for like the EE front, because it's like we haven't upgraded nothing in quite some time. I'm becoming I'm embracing more of my flight attendant. I'm not gonna lie. All of a sudden, it's like, pre-pandemic, I was pretty friendly. I used to talk to people. I was nice. I used to like do those. And then I don't know what happened, man, but now I'm back. I'm like, yo, let's be friends and stuff. Like, let's go.
Let's be friends.
Let's go do the fun, So I'm joking, but it's necessary, man. Relationships and really taking care of your people is so important. So shout out to you for really, really, really repping. And shout out to Deeper Than the Brand, man, doing some phenomenal things. Y'all better be a part of it if you're not already. But let's get into this topic, though. Super, super, super important that we talk about this. This is like a strategic placement around why this topic today, right? So as you know, although I'm embracing more of the people in my flight attendant style, I'm still a geek and a nerd at heart. I love to study. I love personal and professional development. And I think it's at the epicenter of everything that people see on the outside, right? Brand growth, business growth. It all mirrors what you're doing internally. And so I was reading some stats around New Year's resolutions and goals and people's productivity and consistency and at what point they fall off. And the one thing that I came across is that almost 80% of New Year's resolutions fail in February. For those of you listening at the time in which we're recording this is the last day of February. It's February 28th. And so you can think of it as it's something that happens every 2 weeks, every 2 months. It's something that happens on the cusp of the new year, where the new year high has evaporated. You're not running with like, okay, a new year, new me. You've let yourself down a few times. You've got maybe punched around as life started picking its pace back up and things get going crazy, that you maybe lose sight of that motivation or that clarity or that drive that you had when you first started the year. And what I don't want us to do, and I hope that we can be a representation of this as a community now, is to not let February or let that dive in our performance go and leave it there. Like, even if you've dipped a little bit over the last few weeks, I would love it for us to start thinking like, okay, you know what? In all transparency, I did take a hit. I'm not as motivated as I was the beginning of the year. I'm not as inspired. I'm not as consistent. I'm not creating the content. I'm not going out there and trying to build my business actively, whatever it may be. But let's do something about it now, because you got the whole year still ahead of you. Like, we're not even out of Q1 yet. And so what I love about what I've done, honestly, for myself, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm even, you know what I'm saying, like, credits to me. But Nick's also has done a phenomenal job of this as well, is really taking care of the mental, the emotional health, the physical health, and all of the things that are attached to it, because then you start to see it in your business growth. You start to see the difference in your brand growth, and you don't have that burnout or that fatigue. Like, I don't know if you've ever felt it, Nix, maybe before we really started tightening up the routine and getting on all these different things. There used to be times, like, no matter how fulfilling the work was, you'd get to a point where you just like, yo, I'm tired. Like, can I just sleep? Right. And I don't know if y'all are listening to this, man, you might be resonating with it, but seriously, that fatigue is not normal. Your work, I'm not saying you're always going to maybe feel like you're on top of the world, but for the most part, when you're pursuing your passion and you're doing something you care about, it should rejuvenate you in the process. You should walk out of there feeling like, man, I feel good. Like, yes, I'm tired, but I feel good. And that's energy for you to want to keep going. So I want to have a conversation today about us really doing a quick check-in, a quick checkup, and getting ourselves back anchored and centered and still going strong, so that we don't let this year slip out of our hands and we start yet another cycle of another year where we say, man, I thought this was going to be I thought this was going to be my year, but what happened was, I want Nicky and Moose as much as possible to be a reason why your 2023 ends up on the up and up. So yeah. So Nix, man, take us, let's do it. Give us a quick check-in first, mentally, emotionally, physically, how you feeling? Where are you at first? Let the people know, and then we'll start talking about some tips and strategies.
Mentally, I'm great. Spiritually, I'm amazing. Physically, I'm still chubby. Physically, I'm still chubby. All right, we just accept that. All right.
I love it.
I think for sure with the travel starting to kick back in, the routine I need to have a travel routine. I'm not going to say I need to take the home routine and bring it to the travel. Right. I need to have a travel routine, because that always messes things up. I'm eating way more. Had butter cake from Grand Lux. That was amazing. You would have appreciated that, because it had ice cream. But anyway, but I do skip out because there isn't a travel routine of like the thinking process, the stillness process, like there's talking to God, but like not as long. It'd be like a quick right before I go to sleep. Thank you for everything you've done. You're just amazing. I'm so tired. I'll hit you up later. Right? Like it'd be that kind of vibe.
That's real.
So to come up with a travel routine for me would probably keep me on the up and up. But what I've realized with the travel is that the creativity is better. So
talk about that. Yeah.
So what I've gotten in this routine now where I'm not caring how I look outside in the world when recording, right? So past 2 trips, I brought my tripod, and like just stood in the middle of the airport and just it had what I wanted to create already in mind. And so there were certain angles that I recorded, certain things I made sure that even when I was sitting, I had the tripod and I showed that I was sitting and drinking the water, and like being intentional with documenting what is happening and creating this whole like travel and create vibe, because traveling is like, these are new views, new scenery, new environment. So it makes me feel like I want to show that process where I have a strong routine at home because it's the same look, same day. So I have to provide a space to sit and think about creative situations, because you have to be a bit creative when you are in the same seat, same background, same vibe every single day. So does that mean, I may start recording here, but I may go outside in the parking lot. I may, like, you have to think of those things where in the travel, when you go different places, it's not that hard to think about creativity and different ideas, because it just pops up like, I could show that I'm about to jump in the car. I could show that I'm talking to this person. I could show and not feel bad of, I'm gonna plop this tripod real quick. Just stay with me real quick, instead of, because I'm more of the, I don't like bothering people. Can you hold my phone and just record this real quick? I'm not that person. Unless you're with me, I'm not going to get around. Hey, can you just do this for me? Thank you. I appreciate you. Right. So I'm getting in that mode of let's bring the wireless mic, just in case. Let's think of the different scenarios of what you're trying to do. Let's make the caption meaningful of what the storyline is, and then post it. So I don't know if that was a question, but that just
good.
happened. So
That's good. That's good. No, because when you talk about just output in general or being consistent, and that's one of the things that we're really trying to offset and resolve, especially at this point in the year, being able to, whether it is work on yourself or just gain a perspective that allows you to feel that you're not weird to have a camera set up in the airport, I don't care where it is, in 2023, and record yourself.
right.
It's because I remember that kind of pressure, say 2017, 2018. It was weird. Like, really, you're going to walk down the street and record yourself? That's kind of weird. And so I think that's a big breakthrough as a creative, where you're no longer camera shy. In a controlled environment, in the comfort of our homes, we could pop the camera on. You're going to do what you've been doing for as long as we can all remember. But to do that in public now, I think that's a new layer of creativity, which is super dope. So that's awesome. I love that you shared that. I think for me, I think I've been so in it that I haven't noticed I was doing it until I was talking to Brandon yesterday while we were driving, because we're in Michigan, we're driving, and we're just talking about, I was saying the last time I saw CJ was at 120. And he was like, man, I can't believe time has flown, or this much time has gone by. He was talking about how time has just been speeding in his life. I said, and he basically said, like, I imagine you're feeling the same way. I said, man, ironically, I'm on the verge of expecting my first child, and I don't feel that way at all. I have changed my perspective, because I used to be so much in the future or so regretful about the past. And I used to really be stuck between those two spaces. I used to think about what I did, and I used to beat myself up for how I could have done it better. And I used to be in the future planning how I want things to go. Like, I want to do this. I want to be better here. I want to do that. I want to do this. And so when you think about someone who's so deep in the past and so deep into the future, the thing that you're really missing out on the most is the present. And for me, something about the last, say, 4 months especially, have just brought me hyper focused into today and right now. And so it started with waking up earlier. You have so much time in your day because you're starting earlier, you're getting more time to yourself. But I'm so deep into just maximizing my output and what I can get out of today. Like, I can't do nothing about what happened yesterday. I can't do nothing about what will come tomorrow. So believe it or not, Nix, that presence, that just focus on today has helped me tremendously from a creative standpoint, and just feeling as though whatever ideas that are coming to and through me, they will never run out as long as I'm just here, because you can find them. And I think of creativity like ideas, right? You can find them in conversations. You can read something, listen to something, and it triggers a thought, and you translate it into something else, and you're like, yo, I want to say that. I feel like that's something that's meaningful that I want to share or allow to be heard. So now that I'm in this moment or in this space, I feel that that's something a lot of us, it's helped me, and I feel that a lot of us can benefit from as well, because you might start to run into a creative roadblock when you're regretful about the past, or so deep into the future that you're not maximizing your today. And then it creates that same frustration cycle. So that's one of the things for me that I have been super grateful over. And it's crazy. Like, I'm literally so deep into it, I didn't know I was doing it until I reflected on it, talking with Brandon, like, man, time is going by fast. I was like, isn't it? I'm like, no, actually it's not. And it brings it to fruition a totally different way. So I got to say I'm grateful for that.
Well, for me, we're already going to be in March. I'm like, what happened in February? I'm very confused. So I don't know. I wouldn't say time is going so fast, but February, I didn't even know was here. How about that? I didn't know it was here. So I want your problems. I want wait, no, actually it's not going fast. It's still very beginning of the year. It's very, very soon. Yeah. So no, I want your problems, sir. I want your problems. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it helps, man. And honestly, like I said, I can't even tell you what I did, but I know I'm doing it now. Like, I don't know what I did to get there. It wasn't an intentional thing like, I need to be more present. It wasn't like a meditation yoga moment and I came to an awakening of I need to be more present, but it really was just reflecting and noticing what's different. And at the end of the day, y'all, that's the beauty about knowing yourself. Notice that for me to be grateful about the moment or being in the present, I had to know myself to the level of knowing that I tend to regret the past and live too deep into the future. If you don't even know that about yourself, if you're not at a level of consciousness or awareness to even embrace that or recognize that, you don't see a difference in all of a sudden being present in the moment, because it seems like it's blended into everything else that's happening into your life and there's no difference to it. So that's the beauty of just taking the time to constantly learn about yourself, your thoughts, your behaviors, your actions, your motivations, and then also finding the words or the vocabulary to articulate them. That's another piece. Like, a lot of people really struggle with creativity and they don't even know this. They'll struggle with creativity because they're feeling things, which are ideas, which are really almost like vehicles that can be used to transport you into other networks and other people's lives in a sense, but you lack the words to articulate them. So they stay stuck in your own mind and no one hears them. Well, why is that? You don't have the vocabulary to articulate what you're feeling, what you're thinking, your wants, your desires, your motivations. I struck a nerve. Come on.
Yeah, no, because okay, so as some of y'all know, I wouldn't say most, but some of y'all know, I've been really digging into the AI situation. And though it is such like a time saver and game changer, some people struggle with it because majority of it is like a text to creation. So whether it's text to video, text to picture, right? Text to just output. You have to be able to describe what you want for it to actually produce something. And some people are not getting the right results of creativity because they do not know how to articulate what's on their mind or what they want. So when you say that, it's like, it's really showing out now to not only from, what, like a video or quote or whatever from just a general standpoint, but now there are more tools to make content creation so much easier. And there's people who still struggle with it because they just don't know how to articulate what exactly they want, what idea they have in their head in order to just type out, this is what I need. And maybe there should be some type of exercise or just write the words down, first word that you think, and then kind of just try to pile it together in order to make it make sense, or do that and then find an accountability partner that can maybe make it make sense. Like I know when I have an idea, I'll go to Moose and I'll say, I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm going to say it. And then you could probably, between him and Carl and Aaron, I'll say something that I know does not make sense. And I know I'm rambling over and over and over again. And I'm like, did you get that? Nope, I get what you're saying. Like, you have to have those people around that understands that, I would say, visionary talk, because when you have ideas, when you have some type of creativity, regardless if you're a visionary or not, you're in visionary talk. And a person who can actually take what you say and kind of decipher it and be like, this is what I think you're saying, and how possibly you can execute it. Not just, hey, I think you're saying this, and you be like, yeah, now what? Right? It's more of, hey, I think this is what you're saying. This could possibly work. Let's try this out. So that's what.
Critical.
Yeah, what you said is really apparent now, while people are in this AI world of typing out what they need.
Wow, that's crazy. I never made that connection from that to what you just talked about with AI, but it's true. Like, at the end of the day, you're not going to get something unless you ask for it, especially in the world of AI. You have to, and everyone talks about it, the input is going to determine the output. So you really have to be spot on with what you're putting in there. And I think about some of the things that have helped. I don't know if it was always natural to you, because it wasn't for me. I know that some of the times that I've, even on this live, and I'm so glad I've matured. It's funny. I have a playlist. Sorry, y'all, I'm going slightly off topic, but I have a playlist that's saved on my YouTube, and some of it has our like earlier podcast episodes.
Yeah.
So there are some episodes, early episodes, where I went back and I was watching them, and I'm literally like this while you're talking, and it's like, and just no level of consciousness to the camera and how that looks on screen and everything that's happening. And I'm like, dude, what were you thinking? Now, to a slight defense of mine, I was looking down at my phone researching,
right,
so that I can say something actually reasonable. But
I knew it.
It looks terrible on camera. It's like, are you even paying attention to what she's saying? Yes. And I'm like, man, that's so bad. But part of my frustration with creatives in the past, especially people in the design, videography, editing space, was, but they didn't give me what I wanted. And it goes back to exactly what you said. No, they gave you what you asked for.
Yes.
They gave you what you communicated, or in some cases, what you didn't communicate to them. And that's what they made out of it. And so if you want something better, you have to know how to describe it to them and get comfortable with that vision in your mind. So I'm just really saying, Nick, that for me, it wasn't always a natural thing to see something and say, this is what I want, or that's what it is. And in a lot of ways, not to make it too personal, but I think it has a lot to do with confidence. When you as a person don't feel confident in what you're doing or what you are providing, even, you question and doubt if what you're asking for, what you're thinking is even good.
No, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if yeah.
I could agree. I could definitely agree with that. Because even when you talk about like from creator services with photography, videography, editing, things like that, and the example that you use, sometimes with confidence, you don't want to bother the person, or you think you're a bother, or that it shouldn't be asked, we should know situation, right? And I was actually watching this video where it was talking about how people devalue video creation, right? From pricing standpoint, from just the demand of it, thinking of how how quick it's supposed to be, and it goes more towards the creator or the person who is doing the service. So don't always stay on the the creative side of things, but the person who does the service isn't explaining better the process, isn't explaining everything that goes behind it, isn't explaining, hey, with this idea that you have, we have to break it down into several different things, and we're going to need to create this type of project, boom, 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 right? So, of course, you see the final product of anything, right? With any type of product or service. But for people to truly understand like your value and your process, you have to be able to communicate. And it's a vice versa thing, where if you are the person buying the service, buying the product, are you being descriptive of exactly what you need? You are the one that has the idea and the vision. And so you can't just go, hey, I need a video. Hey, I need a consultation about life. Like, fix it. And you're like, oh, okay. So we could go about this in a few ways, right? A not confident consultant can be like, allow the person to lead the whole way and add a little bit of feedback. And then the person thinks, why did I get this? Like, I fixed my own life. Like, you didn't do anything, right? But because the consultant wasn't confident enough to direct the conversation, wasn't confident enough to ask the right questions, right? To where the person may feel a certain kind of way by asking this question, or being a little stern and saying, nah, that's not it. When we flip it to the creative side, that idea may not work. Yeah. Let's look at it in this kind of way. So the communication side, from where you're saying from a confidence standpoint, does play a role in your communication from a service situation as well. Yeah. Man, this is so rich, man. I love conversations like this because I feel they humanize people, and they let others know that they are not crazy for thinking some of the things that they've thought, or dealing with some of the things that they've dealt. It's like, oh, I guess this is common to more than just my own mind, which really helps people to really reset. So for those of you tuned in, man, thank you for checking in with us. Make sure you share this with a couple of people. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll get to them as we near the end of the show. Nix, let me ask you, for someone who maybe has constantly beat themselves up for falling victim to the same mistakes over and over again, because it's one thing to make a mistake
that you've never done before, and you could always chalk that up as a lesson pretty easily. It's like, oh, okay, got it. No, that's not a loss. That's just a lesson. But for the people who constantly maybe get tripped up on that same thing over and over again, and they get so mad at themselves for making that mistake or whatever, what advice would you give them to maybe just let go of the past, or like take a breather and start over again, or like what would you just say to that person in general?
So it's normal first to acknowledge that the feeling is normal, right? I think some people make it seem as if like, you shouldn't feel that way, like move on. It's nothing. Like, no, we could be discouraged. It's absolutely, we could be frustrated. We're human. We have feelings, right? So that is normal. Now, what do we do after we acknowledge it is what we need to talk about, right? Where it's still understanding what was the goal. And is there a way to continue to go after this goal? If there is no way, absolutely. Like, you've done something so crazy, and not to be so hard on yourself, because there is oh God, no, this can't work ever. I put so much energy on this thing. There's no way we could ever make the, like, get yourself out of your feelings for, once you acknowledge it, get yourself out of your feelings for a second and try to think a little bit realistic, which is hard. And you may need to get another person to kind of talk it out. Like that venting person. I'm big on pairing, okay? Accountability and pairing, because sometimes we just have to let it out, and that's fine. But to realistically say, yo, this is what happened. Can this goal still be met? Can I still do this? It may take a little bit longer, or it may add an extra day. It may, like, look at it all and then just go and do it, right? It's never about how you get knocked down. It's always about how you get back up. Yeah. No one can. We just saw the Jake Paul fight. And Jake Paul actually knocked down Tom Fury. If you don't know who I'm talking about, it's two boxers. Jake Paul's a YouTuber, so there's a big whole stink around him. But he lost. He took his first L, right? But he actually knocked down the dude, and the dude got back up and won the fight. So it doesn't even matter that he fell. It's how he got back up and still got to the goal. So when we're looking at from a creative standpoint, we may have a brand and it isn't growing in the time frame that we wanted to. We may have created a piece of content and it supposedly flopped in our eyes, right? We created a product and it didn't get the sales that it needed to get to. Now we have to readjust and look, okay, can the brand still scale? Can I maybe repost this content and get different looks? Or can I add something to it to get the views and the engagement that I was looking for? Can I relaunch this product, package it a different certain way to be able to get the products and sales that I want, because the product is already done? So maybe looking at how I rolled it out, looking at if people didn't buy it, that means maybe some people didn't see it. So I can actually chill out for a little bit and then do a whole new relaunch, right? How are we going to revisit what we've done instead of staying on the floor, laying down, crying and being like, oh my God, this didn't work? A lot of things are not going to work. It's always about how do you get back up?
Yeah, that's so good. Hey, low key, I'm excited for this to come out on Creators App. It's
hey,
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Low key, I'm excited for this to come out on Creators App. I'll say this real quick, just so I can maybe add my take to maybe some of those structured folks out there. But really, truly, if you've hit a creative roadblock, if you need to rejuvenate or reignite your creativity, I want to tell you, despite of the fact whether you're an early riser or a night owl, this has nothing to do with that. You get to pick, right? It doesn't even matter, because I know sometimes even that concept makes it difficult for us to see another way because it's not who we are. So it doesn't matter. You can do it any which way you want. But really, truly, man, just allow yourself some time to get in simple, basic stuff, but still very necessary. It's because it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. Get in some rest, like get some good sleep, get in some exercise, spend a little time doing prayer and or meditation, right? Get some good nutrition in you. I'm telling you, I know this may sound like, yo, why are you telling me the ABCs, bro? You think I'm back in 5th grade? I know, no, you're a grown person. You got it going on. You're killing the game. I know, but I'm just telling you, take care of those couple of things. And I guarantee you it's going to make a tremendous difference when it comes to your creativity and your brain's processing power and all of the stuff that you want it to do. You got to give it what it needs so it can give you what you want as well. So just a quick reminder on that.
That's good. Shout out to you. Good. With that, he already kind of plugged it in. Did y'all check out Creative Ave? All right. If you're watching this live, type in 1 if you listen to our new audio only series, Creator Ave, which is still under the Nicky and Moose channel. Okay. When you are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you listen to Nicky and Moose from an audio side, Creator Ave is there. And what it's doing is the intersection of branding and business, aka these lives cut down to the meat and potatoes, where you could take a pen and a pad and write down everything that you need for your brand and your business. We're taking some of the best ones and we're now creating it as audio because we heard you, right? You said, Nicky, Moose, I need this on audio. Like, I can't sit down and watch the whole 40 minutes to an hour. I can't do it. So what we did was made it into 20 to 25 minutes of just pure gold, pure gems. So that it comes out every Friday, 6 a.m. Creator Ave. Go check that out. Last week was really dope. So if you didn't watch that or didn't listen to it, not watch. If you didn't listen to it, just type into, and that also means that you're going to after you listen to this week's podcast. I'm just saying.
Fire.
Yes. So, of course, tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever you're watching this, 8 p.m., the full video of Glenn's interview, aka Belief in Fatherhood, episode 126, is going to be out. The audio experience is out now. We've gotten amazing reviews. This episode is something so special. And it was a great way to end Black History Month. You see what we did there? You see what we did there? A little strategic. We're a little strategic, but amazing individual, amazing creator. I learned a lot. Moose learned a lot. So please go check that out. Moose, I appreciate you and the conversation that we always have.
Likewise. Thanks for bearing with the technical difficulties. But yes, amazing.
It is fine. We are not perfect, people. We are not perfect. And with that, you know what we're going to say.
Peace, y'all.